So, Ali, I'm super excited to see you again. I haven't seen you since our session with like last year,
Yeah,
our healing
yeah.
session, where you were incredibly helpful to me and it was really powerful. I went to see Ali at her space. She had a healing room, has a healing room in the back of Urban Sanctuary, Denver, a studio, an amazing place she'll tell you about shortly. And I was kind of dealing with some relationship stuff and wanted to help through that. And she helped me with kind of some repatterning of my thoughts and energy work. And I think you called it kind of quantum healing in a way. And I got to see your space for this first time and learn about all of your offerings there, and was just blown away. So yeah. And right now, I really want people to learn about you and the resource that you are as a healer and Urban Sanctuary. I'm not sure how much you have going out of there. You can tell us all about it. But people
Okay.
need help right now, and a lot of people don't know really what kind of the different types of energy work, what types there are. And I want you to tell them about it because it is real and it is so helpful. And right now it is so needed.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So will you please tell us all about yourself, your story, what led you to the work that you're doing today?
Yeah. And we have an hour, right?
Yeah.
I won't go too deep, too
Right. Yeah.
candid. Well, I was born and raised in Fort Collins, so I'm from Colorado, and I was born on a farm. And it was my dad was the second black male in Fort Collins, period. And so he moved us out. I was born on a farm out there. And me and my sisters, I have two older sisters, we were the only Black family and kids going through school. So just kind of navigating through those challenges, just being brought up in Fort Collins, which is pretty much all white community.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was just doing my thing. And then skip forward a few years, I decided to get into law enforcement. So I became the first Black female officer ever at Fort Collins Police Department.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I served on the force for 10 years. And that was really good. That was a very transformational time for me as far as like finding my voice, kind of opening my eyes to a lot of things. But it was then when I was at the police department that I got introduced to Reiki. So I had a lady, she worked in records, and she invited me to get a massage from her, and she was practicing Reiki. And mind you, I was raised strict Christian, like
Okay.
strict Christian. And so when I was experiencing what was I was experiencing, I was a little uncomfortable because she was telling me information about me that she should have never known unless I would have told her.
Mhm.
And so I was asking her, what are you doing? What is this called? And she told me what it was. And then from that moment forward, I did a deep dive, and that was
Wow.
in 2004. And so I did a deep dive into Reiki. I got my uh, attunements over the last, man, I think it was 8 years. And then I got up to, I
Mhm.
finally got my final attunement in Reiki Master Teacher several years ago. But yeah, and then I like to say that Reiki was my gateway drug to energy,
That's a
and
good one.
um, and then from Reiki, I got into emotional clearing, and then I just soaked that up. And then for emotional clearing, I got into the quantum physics. So then I studied down in New Mexico for the quantum field, like how to access it with healing. And then just little bits and pieces started to happen as far
Mhm.
as things coming to me and what I needed to connect with. My screen keeps going dark. I don't know why.
Oh, shoot.
No, that's okay. I'll just keep tapping it. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm
Okay.
tapping my screen.
Doing some tapping
uh,
work.
yes. So yeah, so all of my sessions basically just create themselves. So I studied over the last 16 plus years in energy work, and yeah, and so then when I do a session, I pull from everything that I know or that I've studied. And yeah, I don't know why
Okay.
my screen
Yeah.
keeps clicking off. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost connection there. I'm glad you're back. Worst case scenario, if we have to get off and start back over, we'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so
I
that
think we lost you at I got caught up in wondering about you. So you go back just go back
Oh, okay.
about 30 seconds.
Yeah, so then I studied all these healing modalities, and then when I do my sessions, then it just pulls from things that I know, and it basically creates itself. So
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call what I do, except just, I mean, it just is.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you're just a natural born healer, truly.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Thank
now
you.
you've got all the skills and teaching to really, harness and fine tune. That was my experience of you anyway. Can you
Okay.
explain? I mean, I know that you kind of like now kind of mix it all up and, it happens organically. But for those people who don't know what Reiki is, can you just explain what it is, or maybe just kind of energy work in general, or both?
Yeah, so Reiki is, I'm so excited that it's gotten really mainstream.
Yeah, me
And
too.
now, like, Cancer Centers of America have a Reiki practitioner on staff because they can see the dramatic changes that when a Reiki practitioner is in the room and working on a patient, they can see the changes. And that's
Wow.
happened like in the last 6 to 8 years. So that's pretty exciting.
That's
And
incredible.
Reiki is, it's just taking the universal energy around us. And then you
Hmm.
learn symbols to access it. And
Hmm.
then you just put the energy into the person. So it's not, your energy, the practitioner's energy is taking the energy from around the person and then
Hmm.
putting it into the body. And so then the body takes that energy and uses it for whatever it needs, whether it's mental, emotional, physical. It uses that to
Hmm.
balance the body and start to heal it. So that's Reiki.
Um, it's just so wonderful to like just to feel. I mean, I know definitely a noticeable difference when I walk in the door and walk out. Last week I had Vicky Martinez. She's a Reiki master over at Nurture, which
Mm-hmm.
I know you from Nurture because Nikki Doherty recommended me to you way
Right.
back when, and
Yeah.
she's one of the founders there. So so I've done a session with her as well, and I've done sessions with numerous people back in Phoenix when I was living there, and it's always just been super helpful. I would love to go more regularly and like work with you like often. It would be so wonderful, and that's my intention. At this point, I kind of just go when I need an extra bit of kind of like clearing. It's almost like I feel like I'm almost free of something, or I need just like a little help getting like a belief or something changed, kind of the
Right.
final bit. And then that's kind of often where I go to somebody just for that extra, kind of push
Right. Yeah.
is what it's felt like for me. So, so what else? I really enjoyed the tapping that we did also in your
Oh,
session.
yeah.
Can you tell people about tapping? Because that's getting big too.
Yeah. So emotional freedom technique is, it's
EFT.
EFT. Yep.
Okay.
And it's basically you have a million meridians flowing through your body. And then when you have a thought and an emotion, you kick that out into your body and then it gets stuck in the meridians. So then you're vibrating that frequency and then subconsciously you're feeling those feelings, but then consciously you don't know why am I feeling anxious? Why does this pattern still keep happening over and over and over again? And
Mhm.
so tapping is just simply bringing your awareness to the issue and then tapping through the points to release the energy. So then most people, when they're done tapping, they'll feel a little dizzy, a little woozy, and that's just the energy shifting in their body and
Mhm.
then start to clear them. So if you have a block or you don't know why things keep happening or
Mhm.
why they don't happen, right? Like, why can't I manifest whatever, a relationship, money, health? Then you obviously have a block because everybody has access to everything. You just have to align yourself up with that thing, and whatever
Mhm.
that thing is has a frequency. You just need to change your frequency to align up to that thing.
Mhm.
So a lot of things. And
It's
so
so well said.
tapping is, it's just a really quick way to clear yourself and to open yourself up to change your frequency so then you can align up to whatever that is, or to move
Mhm.
away from whatever you are keep calling in that doesn't feel good.
It was
Yeah, I
really
call it my
helpful.
duct tape.
That's funny. A lot of people call yoga, or not a lot of people, a few that I know call it yoga duct tape because it
Yeah.
fixes everything, sort of
Yeah.
thing. Okay, so I hate to put you on the spot, but can you give, because what's really helpful with the tapping, I felt was you really help us kind of get the thought that's not helpful into
Hmm.
words and get a good replacement for it. That was one thing that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever you're feeling, Oh, go ahead. Were you going to go?
Well, and then I was going to ask you I want you to take me through just a short one so people can see what tapping is.
Oh, okay. Sure, sure. What is the feeling that you're feeling that you want to release?
Let's see. Well, right now there's definitely some anxiety. There's faith and anxiety both within me right now, work-wise, because I'm
Right.
shifting from a job, like a position that I had to no longer having that because the business closed. And so it's
Right.
opened me up for opportunities, but they haven't all landed yet. So I'm in this space of kind of unknown where I have faith that it's all going to be fine. I'm on a great path, but it hasn't yet. So there's some fear with like, finances in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you just then you just focus on that, right? So anxiety. So
Mm-hmm.
you set the space on the side of the hand and you just start
Mm-hmm.
tapping here. And then you just
Okay.
set the space to call it up. And it's simply, so you'll repeat after me and you'll do what I do.
Okay.
So even though I
Okay.
am stressed,
Even though I am stressed,
I love myself.
I love myself.
Even though I am stressed, I am a good person.
Even though I am stressed, I am a good person.
Even though I am stressed, I accept me for who I am.
Even though I am stressed, I accept me for who I am.
Then we're going to move to the top of the head.
This is one of my favorite spots.
Yes. And then all of this anxiety
All of this anxiety
running through my body,
running through my body,
I can feel it.
I can feel it.
And it's heavy.
And it's heavy.
And it's a lot.
And it's a lot.
And it's all about fear of the future.
And it's all about fear of the future.
All of this anxiety
All of this anxiety
that I have around work,
that I have around work,
that I have around money,
that I have around money,
I can feel it.
I can feel it.
And it's so heavy.
And it's so heavy.
On the outside of the eyebrows. And this feeling that I have around fear.
And this feeling that I have around fear.
And this feeling that I have around anxiety.
And this feeling that I have around anxiety
is coming from me not knowing.
Is coming from me not knowing.
Underneath the eyes. And I know it's me.
And let me take these off. And I know it's me.
It's all me.
It's all me.
It's my stories.
It's my stories.
It's my need to know.
It's my need to know.
And that's not available to me right now.
And that's not available to me right now.
And I accept that.
And I accept that.
And then under the nose, all of this stress.
All of this stress.
All of this fear.
All of this fear.
All of this anxiety.
All of this anxiety.
It's weighing me down.
It's weighing me down.
It's keeping me blocked.
It's keeping me blocked.
And I know it's me.
And I know it's me.
And I accept it all.
And I accept it all.
On the chin. And that's just where I am right now.
And that's just where I am right now.
And collarbone. And I accept every version of myself.
I accept every version of myself.
Even if I think of it as uncomfortable.
Even if I think of it as uncomfortable.
Even if I think of it as bad.
Even if I think of it as bad.
It is a part of me.
It is a part of me.
And I move to your heart center, and I deserve all of it.
And I deserve all of it.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
And that's what I'm here for, is for experiences.
And that's what I'm here for, is experiences.
So I accept it all.
So I accept it all.
And then back to the top of the head. And as I tap this down.
And as I tap this down.
I'm feeling lighter.
I'm feeling lighter.
I understand.
I understand.
That anxiety is simply. Trying to control something.
Trying to control something.
That I.
Oh, you cut out. If anybody has any questions about tapping or anything that we've talked about so far, please share those. And I think we were talking about your classes and Urban Sanctuary. So you want to tell people about Urban Sanctuary, what it is, and all the cool stuff you offer?
I would love to. So Urban Sanctuary I created in 2016, and it's in the historical Black district of Five Points in downtown Denver. And the building is my passion. So this is Frederick Douglass's family's building. So Frederick Douglass's family owned a mortuary in the 1800s, and this is the building that it was in. And so it has a
Interesting.
lot of history. Yes, it has a lot of history, a lot of good energy. And the cool thing is, it was at one point in the 40s and the 50s, a pool hall, 40s, 50s, 60s. And when my dad was stationed in Cheyenne, Wyoming for the Air Force, he would come down to Denver with a bunch of guys and he would play pool at this building as pool hall, like way before I was even born.
Wow,
And
that's wild.
isn't it crazy? And I
Yeah.
absolutely love his stories about it. And when I first opened it, I told him, that was in 5 Points, and he started asking me all these questions, about what restaurant is still around, and so still there. And then he started telling me about the pool hall, and then I was just like, Dad, that's my building. That's the one that I'm in.
I
And
just
he
got the
was just like,
goosebumps.
yeah, and he was like so excited about it. So I turned it into a studio and a wellness center. We have a studio, we have a courtyard, we have 5 treatment rooms where practitioners do energy work and healing, tarot, all different kinds of modalities. And so then I started creating lots of different classes, so unique classes.
Hmm.
And so Tap Tap Flow is one of them,
Hmm.
and that's using EFT and yoga to go a little bit deeper than just yoga practice with just your breath and the movement. And then we also have some somatic yoga, which is a lot of Kundalini shaking and just being like forceful breathing and just getting things out. So it's trauma based. And we work around a lot of shame and guilt in our somatic yoga to kind of get that out of the body, because that's usually one of the heaviest subconscious frequencies and vibrations
Hmm.
that happens within our body, whether we know it or not.
Shame and guilt.
Shame and guilt.
Hmm.
Yep. And then we have tarot and flow, which is a tarot reading throughout the flow. So we get insights. I connect with all the students, we ground, and then I start pulling cards and we flow. So that one's fun. That's a fun one. We do that one 2 times a week. We have lots of early morning classes and some evening classes. We have naked yoga. Tonight is naked yoga for women only. And so yeah,
Wow.
it's
I
fabulous.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting to try it ever since I left your studio. I've had,
Yeah.
the ideas of like all the classes that I do want to try. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are going to be curious about that. So what would you like to say about that experience? Like it's not,
Yeah.
it's this one's for women only, so
Yep.
obviously it's that.
Yeah, it's for women only, and it's stressed down to your comfort, so you don't have to be naked if you don't want to.
Hmm.
And it's just getting really in tune with yourself, right? Working through your stories about yourself and your body, because then there's nowhere to hide. We spend so much time trying to pick out the cute outfits and the yoga, like all that's gone, right? And so
Yeah.
then just taking away all of the shield, the barrier that we have, like, do I look cute enough? Is this what it is? And so when it's all out there, then you just keep surrendering to deeper levels. So the first time I taught it, like, I was blown away. I didn't think it would be that as profound as it was.
Hmm.
And it is probably one of my favorite classes to teach.
Wow.
Just setting the space and holding energy for everyone. And it's not like there's bright lights shining on you. I just have candles lit. And so it's just
Mm.
candlelight yoga, basically.
Hmm.
And so it's not like you're like on full spotlight.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Because that was like my first, even though it makes no sense, that was my first image, was like white light and like glistening bodies. Yeah.
No, it's very dim and dark. And so
Okay.
people can like work through their stuff kind of like in their own little cocoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we have co-ed naked yoga also.
Hmm.
And so that's just kind of being comfortable with yourself around other people. We put so much energy around the opposite sex. And a lot of women have trauma being around men. And it doesn't have to be drastic trauma. It can just be trauma that, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not whatever the story is. And it's just like,
Hmm.
yeah, you just show up how you are. And
Yeah.
then just having that connection with your breath and the movement, it's pretty powerful.
So how do you work that right now with, is it just a limited number at the moment?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Very limited number, like
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. So, and I
Yeah.
mean, you probably don't Zoom that.
No, that one's not Zoomed. Because then
Get
I'll
some
have to
hackers
put,
in there, and then yeah, that's not ideal.
right, then I'll have to put on the bright, bright lights so
Right.
people can see on Zoom, and then it just takes away everything. So there'll
Yeah,
be
the
all
whole
these.
thing. There's nothing about it that would really work well.
Yeah, no, so that one is the only one that's not Zoomed. Yeah.
Wow. So when is that one?
It's tonight.
Oh, that is tonight. The
Yeah, and
women's.
it's the women's.
When's co-ed?
Co-ed, I'm going to do it probably mid-January. So I do it once a month.
Oh, okay. Once a month.
Once a month, yeah. So those are specialty classes. So, and I give the teachers opportunity to create something that they feel good about too. So like
Mm-hmm.
whether it's Reiki and yoga. So Courtney just got her Reiki master teacher, and then she
Mm-hmm.
offered a Reiki and yoga event. So Friday nights are our special event nights that teachers can just create something that they want to share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then my favorite one of my favorite ones is story time. And so
Mm-hmm.
story time is Monday nights where I actually read you a story.
What kind of story?
Right now we are reading The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer.
So is it like
Okay.
one story per, is it like a bit or is
Just
it
a
the full
bit.
story? Okay, it's a bit.
Nope, it's for 30 minutes. And then we just stop when 30 minutes over, and then we just pick up. So last story was The Alchemist.
Oh, I love that.
I know, that's one of my favorite books.
That's
So
one of
I
my
read
favorite
that
books
one
too.
last time. And you creep into bed and you get all cozy, and I read you a story. So it's fun.
So that's a great Zoom one. You're at home
Yes.
and you're having Ali read to you. Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got comments on that. Demita loves that book, by the way. Demita wanted to remind you that you're the one who inspired her to shave her for her hairdo. She's on here. My best friend Emily read that. She loves it. Yeah, so lots of people. Hey, anyone send in questions. I'm going to leave time at the end. Got a lot of really great people on here. I specifically asked a decent amount of my friends because I wanted them to meet you. Okay, how do I get that off? Okay, so urbanyogadenver.com. You can find your classes. Is that
No, it's US Denver.
US
So
Denver?
usdenver.com. Yep. So it's just short
Oh.
for urbansanctuary.com. So it's just usdenver.com.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, what's funny is that, so what streets are you on?
I am on Welton and 27th. So almost to the corner. Yep. So I'm sandwiched in between a couple of businesses.
My dear friend and I, a few of us, can you hear me? I think you froze.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I was just really still.
Really? Two things came up. I have to ask you in a second. I used to live on 31st and Larimer back in when was that? Was like, I'm going to say it was 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But the building we lived in was a brothel, and then it was a church, and then it was an art studio, and then it was our place. So kind of like yours, just the history in all those buildings down there. It's so incredible.
I love that. Yeah.
And I love that your dad used to play pool in yours. Oh, we were on 35th and Larimer. I just got corrected. Okay. Demita has a question for you. Can I ask you one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ali, how do you center yourself as a Black woman, and spelled with the X, in such a white-centered community?
That's been my whole life.
Hers too.
Yeah. Is all white. Denver, pretty much all white. So it's just me being me. So it's just me being me, showing up, sharing what I have to offer. Whoever resonates with it, wonderful. Whoever doesn't, that's wonderful too. So I don't know how else.
That's a great response. I love that. I love that response. I was listening to, and Demita, maybe you can tell me, she just said amen. You can tell me, who was the woman the other day that I wanted you to listen to the podcast and you really liked her so much? If you can write that in, Demita. She was on Dave Asprey. But she was, they were asking her, well, how do you, how does it feel to be a Black woman, Black single mother, on stage or in the presence of all of these other, really fast, influential individuals? Because she was on, she was one of the presenters in this big thing. And she's like, she basically kind of the same answer. I don't identify with those things. Like, I'm here because I have incredible offerings just as they do. I don't need to pigeon pigeonhole myself in a line to give other people comfort.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which I thought it was
absolutely.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and
Um,
if you look at my urban sanctuary page, like
Lisa Nichols. Okay,
oh, that's the podcast.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I take that opportunity to have the platform that I have at Urban Sanctuary to speak up for Black women and Black bodies. I'm very passionate about it. And so I know some people get uncomfortable with my posts, but you're welcome. There's some work for you. I just presented you with some work for
I
you
love
to
it.
work through if you're
And
uncomfortable with my post.
do you want to give an example?
I do a lot of, so the one that I just recently did, just calling white people up, right? Because most people think that racism and white supremacy is a Black issue to empathize with. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. When it's actually a white issue that needs to be healed by the white community. It has nothing to do with the Black community, right? We did not create racism. Racism is a white thing. And so it's up to the white people taking from different cultures that don't belong to you without giving the proper respects, right? Such as yoga, such as basically everything. It's
Right.
been taken. So it just, people don't like to do the work or to hear that. But I have no problem reminding them that this how it is. And if you think about it in away from women, right? Women did not create the whole concept of being a chauvinist, right? Men created that. And so women had to look to men to allow them to vote, to do all the things. Like women could march and do whatever they're doing, but it still was up to the men to start allowing them in, right? And same with LGBTQIA. It was up to the straights to let them in, to start making rules, right? And so it's the same thing. It's up to the white community to undo all of this racism. But when you benefit from a system that is so powerful, that has been in place with for so long, and it benefits the white community, then it's so obvious that people don't want to speak up, because what would that look like if we break down the system? Then what would that look like?
Right. What am I going to lose? And just
yes,
mainly that. What am I going to lose?
What are you going to lose? Yeah. And so there's hardly any yoga studios who have said anything, who have spoken up. They put up their little one black square.
I know.
And you're like, awesome.
Right.
I don't know what that does, but sure.
Right.
But yeah, so, but things are changing. I can feel it. Things are changing a lot. And it's going to be an uncomfortable shift for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is for a long time.
Yep.
And that's okay. They can tap.
Oh, it's absolutely okay.
They can tap.
Breathe. Breathe and change your
Breathe
story. Change
Breathe
your story around a lot of things.
Yeah. I hope that this helps introduce more and more people to you. I'm going to share this with everybody. I think everybody on right now, is gathering how powerful and intelligent you are, and such incredible words of wisdom. So please share, everybody, share this interview. And you had, I don't know, is it still going on, your podcast with your friend?
We took a break. So
Can we see old episodes?
Oh, yeah. So it's She Kings, and it's me and Erica. I met her in India when I went there to study in 2011. And so we talk about spirituality and how to kind of digest it and make it simple to apply it to your life. And I think we're funny.
You're super funny.
Thank you.
No, for sure. And you get into the racial subjects too, of listening to some hard stuff, for sure, for some people.
Yeah,
definitely. So I think you guys should definitely check out her podcast. And in light of what you were just saying about the yoga studios not really doing anything, my second or third interview was with Beth Sanchez. Do you know Beth Sanchez? She's local.
Beth Sanchez. I think I met her a long time ago.
You probably did. She's big in the, she aligns more with the indigenous as far as BIPOC goes. And she used the first month of COVID lockdown to write a book, something that's just she's been very politically active for a long time. And she's one of the few teachers that I really feel deserves the title of a yogi, one of the first few people who I feel deserve the title of yogi. One of my pet peeves is that title is thrown around. It drives me fucking crazy. But her book is I forget the title, socially engaged yoga. So really like practicing what we preach rather than just making it an individual thing where we're practicing and self-evolving. It's a bigger picture. It's becoming socially engaged, using the yoga studios, using the yoga community rather than just a little black box in the window to, really talk about this oneness.
Yeah.
We learn about it, we speak about it ish, but like taking action with it.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's where it's challenging for most people, because
Yeah.
then it's yoga isn't about um, politics. It's like,
Right.
oh, it is politics. Like
Yeah.
being born into this country, this world is automatic about politics, right? Like, how are you going to get food, water, money? You're a part of politics each and every day. And so yoga is 100% about politics.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so I mean, I've gotten into some fun discussions with some people
Within class,
about,
within the community, or what?
no, just on Instagram and Facebook.
Ah,
Yeah, because a lot of
great.
people don't want to hear it, because then they have to look at themselves like, what am I not doing? Yeah.
For sure. No, I mean, that's how it's going to have to happen, is getting defensive and then
Mm-hmm.
sitting with the defensiveness,
Yeah.
sitting with those feelings. Often your Instagram is I am Ali
Um,
Duncan.
yep. Or Ali Duncan Be Seen.
Ali Duncan Be Seen. So you guys should
Mm-hmm.
follow her on that. Um, your website for you to get energy healing is iamallyduncan.com.
I yes.
Yes. So you
I am
guys,
Ali Duncan.com. Yep.
and what are you offering right now? You're offering a special.
Yeah, I've kind of pivoted, and I'm really focusing and supporting the Black community. And so all of my offerings, I should say, the coaching and energy, the one that you got is on a sliding scale for the BIPOC community.
So great.
So yeah, yeah.
Have how much of your current student base is BIPOC?
We've since the George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter, we've expanded so big in that community. And this is why I built the studio back in 2016, was for this. That was my whole thing, is to have a safe space for Black bodies to come and practice, because everywhere I went, I was the only Black student. And then I just got kind of just like, oh, this is so old. And
Yeah.
so I built the studio, and it was just still so slow in coming with the Black community, like, this is welcome, this is a safe space. And so once George Floyd and Black Lives Matter happened, I just started posting. All the BIPOC classes are free, so you don't have to pay for it. And so it just expanded. So we have a lot of men and women from the BIPOC community, part of our community now. So it's super fun. And then all of our teachers, except for two, are people of culture. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. And then just more keep coming in. And I wish I could support everybody that wants to do an offering at Urban Sanctuary, because now I'm getting like all these different people who are just like, oh my gosh, I do this, I'd love to teach. And I was like, I don't have the funds. But earlier this year, I created a nonprofit, and it just got completed in June. So another arm is Urban Sanctuary Denver nonprofit. So then now I'm writing for grants and doing all the things to get money to support the studio, and then to support other programs for that support BIPOC people too, who need funding. So I'm like doulas, to get Black women out of the hospitals, because it's very dangerous for Black women to give birth in hospitals. And so
Why do you
just
say
that type
that?
of work. Oh, Black women have,
Educate me on that.
yes, Black women have the highest death rates when it comes to birth. Actually, in Detroit, their numbers are higher than third world countries, because of racial injustice, and that doctors don't listen to the women. And there's it's like an urban tale that Black bodies can handle more pain, that we're resilient physically, and that's been since slave days. And so when the Black women is saying, I feel pain, it's just that automatic of you'll be fine. Like they're not listened to. And so if you look at the rates of Black women death during, giving birth, it's crazy high, and it's always been that way. And then you have the fear of the Black women going into a hospital, because understand that Black women were experimented on for decades, right? And so then you have that fear before, if they wanted a new procedure to do with white women, then they would have a Black woman be the guinea pig. And just all of this underlying sterilization, right? Eugenics was big, as sterilizing Black women and taking out their uterus. And so it's just that history, it's that energy, and then it's still going on today.
That is horrific.
Oh, it's crazy. And so just getting Black women out of the hospital, man, have the babies at home. Yeah. And so there's a lot of doula, birth justice, doulas that practice birth justice, and they're doing all this hard work, but they're doing it from very little funding, and they need to pay their doulas and the midwives and everything. So that's why I created the nonprofit, to kind of funnel money to help these other movements also to be successful.
I wonder if Nurture might want to, kind of partner up with you or help you in some way with your nonprofit. Yeah. At least for exposure and all that kind of stuff. They're aligning with a lot of really great causes and groups right now for BIPOC communities. Yeah. They're doing nice. a lot of work with Righteous Rage. And so if anybody wants to help with you or donate, be involved, should they just reach you directly, or should they go to that nonprofit site?
If you just go to usdenver.com, there's a link to our nonprofit, and then there's a donate button. And you can email me also if you have questions, or if you want to meet and talk, and I can go into detail.
Yeah.
More detail about what's going on and what we have happening. Yeah.
Man, I hope you get tons of money for that, so you can help.
Me too.
Help lots of people. That is just, I mean, it's so, I'm doing my best amidst, just trying to rearrange my life so that I, afloat, and ultimately, taking flight to educate myself and get involved, little by little. I feel like something, even if it's small, regularly is something, so.
Oh, it absolutely is. Because I, even the small donations that come in, I create scholarships for BIPOC women and men who can't afford the memberships to come do yoga. So then we pay for them.
Great.
And our memberships are on a sliding scale. So it's $65 up to $95, and then $5 increments. So you pay what you can, and it's unlimited yoga. And we have 48 classes a week to choose from.
Holy smokes.
I know. I got a little creative.
Yeah, a little.
Just a little bit.
Are you able to do that? Will you be able to do that actually in the physical space when COVID's over?
Oh yeah, we can still do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, we can still do that. And we also have a bigger studio, like the courtyard, when it gets warmer. But everything still ran off of Zoom. So it's just those blocks of times. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's so incredible.
It is a lot.
Okay, we've got some more comments. Demita suggested Medical Apartheid. You probably already know that book. It's a great book to read. Anybody else who wants to get educated. Let's see. She also commented, in the yoga community, some people want to talk about the oneness without looking at racial injustice. We talked about that. Any other questions? You guys send them in. We just have a few more minutes. I'm so happy that you guys are all here. Are there any other big things that you want to share about? I mean, you're doing a lot. I want to recommend everybody, well, so much more now. I want to say, come take your classes. Demita, you want to go with me to Naked Yoga?
I think we have about 2 more spots open.
Tonight? Tonight. Okay, I'm going to think about it. But if not, I will get on your calendar and see when your next one is.
Perfect. No pressure. No pressure.
If it weren't like a snowy day today, I just kind of want to stay and snuggle. Oh, Emily wants to go. Emily's in Seattle. Well, next time you come to visit, we'll time it around her once a month class. So I want people to look at I hope people will look at all of the classes you offer, 48 a week. That's amazing. And they're unique,
Yeah.
creative, as Ali said.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of unique stuff. Oh, she says, get your ass there and do it. Oh, I think they have naked yoga in Seattle existing
Oh, very
already. I
cool.
would imagine they
Yes,
do.
go. Yeah.
Um, and please, you guys, reach out to Ali for just individual healing sessions and coaching. She breaks out the cards, so you get a card. I did anyway. Card reading. You might have had some stones on me. I don't know. Did you have some stones
Um,
on me?
the tachyons, yeah.
Okay. What's a tachyon?
So tachyons have the tree of life inside of them, and then when you hold them, it balances out your masculine and feminine energy.
Oh,
So then
okay.
that just helps shift the energy flow in the body to bring you
Hmm.
into balance while I'm doing my thing.
Okay. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
remember those as much. And then we did the tapping, which happened earlier in this interview, which is so helpful. And then just some great talking. When you show up for a session with her, it's, you get to share what's happening, which is helpful in itself, just to let it go, and then to get your reflection back is super helpful. It's super healing. We all need it right now. We all need a little boost. We could use some help in transforming our thoughts from
Yeah.
ones of guilt and shame,
Hmm.
lack, to ones of abundance and healing, and um, so those things. And then her nonprofit, getting involved. It seems like just the amount, like just today, learning about the Black women in childbirth.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know that before. I knew somewhat about some of the experiments. I think there's one movie that I've seen about a woman who did not, give any permission to have her DNA taken for testing and all that kind of stuff. And that's, I'm sure, a very minimal, like injustice versus like the forced hysterectomies and that kind of stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So that book that I mentioned earlier, we should all probably read that. And the discounts, the sliding scale for the BIPOC community for all of your healing. It's
Yep.
amazing.
Yep. That's
Okay.
that. Um, yeah, and I will be more present on my Ali Duncan Be Seen page starting in January. Like the studio consumes all my time,
Yeah.
and then I just do sessions. But yeah, I'm excited to break out my whole offering on my personal page, my business page. So
Okay.
keep a
And you have a
keep a lookout
mailing,
for that.
do you send out, can we sign up for a mailing list? Do you have a newsletter?
I do a free meditation, and I could throw an email together next year.
Well,
Wait,
just, yeah.
there
I know it's a
isn't.
lot
No, I do a newsletter once a month for the studio,
for the studio.
and it
Okay.
and it has my thoughts and stuff. So yeah, so for the
Okay.
studio, yes, yeah,
Okay. So you can go to your studio website and sign up for the newsletter so we can be up
yes,
to date on stuff. Okay. Hen-
absolutely.
Henrietta Lacks. That's the name of the movie and the woman that I was just
Mm,
referring to. And I need to take an opportunity and talk about myself for a minute.
yes.
So any viewers who don't know me, my name is Nikki Aiello, and I'm a recovery and life transition coach here in Denver, where Ali is as well, because I know some people are out of state watching this. So I help people recover with, I help people recover from divorce, substance abuse, any sort of major life quake that's rattled their world, and they need help basically shaking out the dust, getting clear, and creating a strategy for moving forward with accountability and somebody to help them, you know, make it practical, and also gather up resources for them, because it's very overwhelming when you're in recovery. There's so many healers and there's so many wonderful people. I create a holistic plan for people, so it's going to be mind, body, spirit, all of it. And a lot of that involves bringing in doctors and professionals of different types, healers for sure. And you don't know where to go, you don't know who the good ones are, you don't know how to restructure your life in a way to have all of your new appointments that you have to make too. Like, recovery is kind of it's a part-time job, if not a full-time job. And so I help people through that process. And that's why I have these interviews, to expose a lot of the healers and doctors, et cetera, that I refer people to, so they can get to know them a little bit better. And also so I can meet my viewers' audience too. So I work remotely, and I'm also a member at Nurture, which is in Denver. So I spend time there and meet clients there, but primarily I work remotely on, Zoom, etc. So nikkiaiello.com is my website. And I'm offering specials too right now. I've got the SOS. So anybody who's really feeling like, they're sinking and they need a life preserver thrown out. I've got basically a condensed coaching package. So it's 4 sessions rather than 6. And it's just condensed, it's half price, and you get one customized little either yoga snack or meditation with that. I make these things called yoga snacks. So they're little 5 to 7 minute videos of movement and breath work. So I send those out to the masses all the time, and I post them on Instagram and my social media, but I also make a personalized one for individuals so they have something to do on a daily basis. And then I have the GYST, get your shit together, for those who just need some help with strategy right now. They're just, they may not feel like they're totally sinking. They may not need a therapist referral or a psychiatric one or all of those other things, but they might just need some help, getting clear on how to suddenly start working at home, and how am I going to get motivated to work out? All of those things. What am I going to eat? Because right now I'm just eating a bunch of crap because I'm at home, with COVID and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm fun to work with. So I've got those 2 specials. You can find them both on my website. And thank you, Carrie. I'm glad you love my yoga snacks, and I love you. So you can find me. You can find Ali. And Ali, you can work remotely, right? I mean, you can do the healing sessions. You don't have to be in person.
Nope. Yep, you can do remotely.
Energy work is just as powerful remotely.
Yep. It is, because energy is just energy. Energy flows regardless. Like, it has no bound. It doesn't have any boundaries.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know it's sometimes hard for people to believe that that's possible. Okay, I'm just seeing if there's any more questions, because we're almost out of time. You have to have these under an hour in order for them to post, or used to anyway. Instagram's always changing. Things are changing, but I'm going to keep it out at an hour just in case. Anything else you want to share, Ali?
That's it. Thanks for having me on. That was fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you for my tapping. Thank you for being here. I hope that people reach out to you. And thanks everyone for showing up. I appreciate you all. Okay, have a wonderful day. We'll see you later.
Bye. Bye.